The truth behind the smile, when fine, is the perfect lie. In our social ecosystem, there exists a mythical creature. You can find them in every office, every family, every friend group. They are the positive energy factories. The people who are always smiling, always saying, "I'm fine," and always ready to listen to your problems. They are the silent superheroes, the portable power banks for the entire world's mood. But have you ever, amidst their laughter, stopped and wondered, so, who recharges them? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're not going to talk about joy. We're going to talk about its price. We're going to dissect the truth behind the constant smile. Let's tear open the velvet curtain together, where the smile has been upgraded from an emotional expression to a defensive weapon and a societal moral yardstick. Part 1. The 24/7 Happiness Mask, a product of the positivity industry. Why would someone choose to wear a mask, even if it's heavy and suffocating? Oh, because in modern society, positivity is no longer just a feeling. It has become a KPI, key performance indicator, a metric for judging a person's character. You don't just need to be successful, you need to positivize that process of success, turning every failure into a valuable lesson, and every difficulty into an opportunity for growth. The rise of the positivity police. Have you ever tried to complain about a bad day and immediately received golden advice like, "Think positive. Other people have it way worse than you," or "Why are you so pessimistic?" That's them, the patrol squad of the kingdom of good vibes only. Here, sadness is treated like a contagious disease that must be isolated and eradicated immediately. Venting is considered an act of disturbing the public order, a blasphemy against the belief that anyone can be happy if they just try hard enough. Gradually, we learn that, to be left in peace, the simplest way is to smile and nod. The truth is this: the very people who preach positivity are the ones most afraid of other people's negative emotions. They don't want to hear about your problems because it might shatter the illusory happiness bubble they live in. They're afraid your sadness will spread to them, forcing them to confront the fact that life is inherently a mess. So, they arm themselves with a water gun full of cliché advice to shoot at anyone who dares to display weakness. The smile is a shield, a nonverbal linguistic strategy. The smile is a perfect shield. It's more effective than any suit of armor. When you smile, others assume you don't need help. It stops prying questions. It deflects pity. "How are you?" "I'm fine," accompanied by a smile, and the conversation ends. Quick, clean, effective. You protect yourself from judgment, but you also build a wall that isolates yourself. This is a masterful psychological defense strategy, using inauthenticity to protect the authenticity of pain. We'd rather be isolated than misunderstood, rather be seen as stoic than as weak. That smile is like a sign: this area is under maintenance. Please do not approach or inquire. The industrial smile, the retail product of the soul, especially in the workplace. The smile has been standardized and mass-produced. It's part of the uniform, a requirement in the job description. Service with a smile. Your smile becomes company property, a tool to optimize the customer experience. You don't smile because you're happy. You smile because it's your job. You are an emotional robot programmed to radiate artificial warmth. By the end of the day, your facial muscles are exhausted, just like the legs of a marathon runner. You've performed your role brilliantly, but your soul is drained, and you realize this industrial smile is more terrifying than a scowl, because it's proof that, in modern society, our emotions have a market value. And sometimes, we have to sell our sadness cheap in exchange for peace. The consequences of pretense, life in a mask, the disease of reasonable silence. When smiling becomes the default, silence about real problems becomes reasonable silence. You don't speak up because you know the response will just be another empty platitude. Gradually, you not only hide your feelings from others, but you also start lying to yourself. The pain isn't resolved, it's just compressed under a thick mask of positivity. The ultimate irony is when we use social media to celebrate this artificiality. Everyone posts radiant photos, showing off their good vibes only life. The result is that we create an ocean of illusions, where everyone is drowning in loneliness but pretending to be surfing on waves of happiness. The weight of fine is the perfect lie. It's a multi-purpose word that can stand in for 1,000 complex emotions. I'm hurting. I'm angry. I'm disappointed, but I don't want to bother you. The weight of the word, fine, isn't in its sound, but in the gravity of all the emotions being crushed beneath it. When you say, fine, you are shouldering a psychological burden that no one else can see. And then, a crisis hits. It's like a balloon filled with the air of sadness. You keep blowing, keep compressing, until one day, it explodes without warning. At that moment, the world is shocked. How could someone so positive? Oh, they had no idea. That positivity was the explosive, compressed under the pressure of social judgment. The lesson: if you want to live a truly positive life, sometimes you need the courage to take off the mask and admit that you are a mess, a disaster, and completely not fine. Only then can you begin the real healing process, instead of just slapping a smiley face band-aid on an open wound. Part 2. System error. The price of running smile.x 24/7. Maintaining a constant smile is like running heavy software on a computer non-stop. It's fine at first, but eventually, it will eat up all your RAM, overheat the machine, and lead to serious system errors. We are turning ourselves into obsolete computers, trying to process oversized emotional tasks with an overloaded processor. Emotional constipation, funny name. Real pain. This is a term I made up, but it perfectly describes the situation. When you refuse to let negative emotions, sadness, anger, disappointment, out, they don't disappear. They get compressed, accumulated, and clogged up inside. Sadness needs to be cried out. Anger needs to be expressed, healthily, of course. And disappointment needs to be acknowledged. But when you constantly hit the mute button on these emotions, they team up to form a stubborn, psychological tumor. One day, your emotional digestive system will go on strike. You might explode over something trivial, for example, weeping uncontrollably just because you dropped the TV remote. It's not the remote's fault, it's the release of months of repressed emotions. Or worse, you'll lose the ability to feel anything at all, even real joy. Ironically, the price of never being sad is never being able to be fully happy. You become someone tasting food with a numb tongue. Everything tastes okay. The paradox of loneliness, the double-edged shield. The person who is always smiling is often the loneliest. How ironic, because they are so good at being a pillar of support. No one thinks they need one too. They build an image of a saint of infinite energy, a champion who never gets tired or sad. People come to them to vent, to recharge on positivity. But rarely does anyone ask in return, and what about you? How was your day? You become a free therapist, a stand-up comedian, a problem solver for the world, but not a true friend who gets to share. The tragedy is this: they have closed off all escape routes with their own smile. Their loneliness is a chosen loneliness, chosen by others, an inevitable result of creating an image that is too perfect. If you're too strong, no one dares to offer you a shoulder to lean on. Smiling depression syndrome. When the flaw is in the architecture. This is the most dangerous corner, where satire turns chilling. When the mask has fused so tightly to your skin, sometimes even you forget your real face. You still go to work. You still get things done. You still socialize. You still crack jokes. You operate perfectly on the outside. But inside, the machinery is falling apart. This is called smiling depression or high-functioning depression. It's dangerous because no one, not even the person suffering, recognizes the severity of the problem until everything collapses. They aren't bedridden. They are perfectly trying to live a normal life while their inner self is screaming for help. The ultimate irony is when the sufferer is still actively encouraging others while they themselves are sinking in darkness. They become brilliant lighthouses guiding ships to safety, while they themselves are standing on a deserted, lonely island. They are performing a play for an audience of one, themselves, and they still don't dare to break character for fear the truth will shatter them. To avoid these system errors, maybe we need to learn to occasionally allow ourselves a controlled shutdown. Give yourself permission to grumble, to complain, and to be not okay. Because only when you accept the low notes in your soul will you have enough RAM to process the true high notes of life. Part 3. The romanticization of pain, when you have to pay taxes on suffering. If positivity is a KPI, then pain is a valuable asset. In this era, you not only have to hide your sadness, but when you dare to express it, you must adhere to an unwritten rulebook. Your pain must be constructive, inspirational, and commercially viable. Pain is an inspiring story, but it must have a happy ending. You're allowed to fail, allowed to suffer, but only if you can recount it as a perfect inspirational story. You got fired? Great. Turn it into the push you needed to launch a successful startup. You just went through a breakup? Bravo. Turn it into an opportunity for healing and self-discovery, and write a best-selling self-help book. The irony is, you are not allowed to simply be in pain and rest. Your pain must serve a higher purpose, usually the purpose of entertaining or motivating others. If your pain is just painful and meaningless, it's considered a defective product, worthless on the suffering marketplace. As a result, we learn to edit our pain. We cut out the ugly parts, the unnecessary moments of weakness, and only keep the overcoming adversity segment to sell to the public. Your pain becomes an online course where you are the keynote speaker, teaching others how to turn emotional scrap metal into spiritual gold. The suffering marketplace and emotional manipulation. Toxic positivity exists in parallel with the growth of the suffering marketplace. The therapy industrial complex sells you solutions. The self-help industry sells you promises. The social media industry sells you validation if you're brave enough and attractive enough to share your wounds. If you're sad, you must buy a book, buy a course, or at least buy a philosophical t-shirt with a positive quote on it. Pain has been commercialized and put on a production line. The funny thing is, everyone is making money off each other's pain. The self-help author wouldn't be a millionaire if everyone could actually help themselves. Toxic positivity is the perfect marketing tool. It creates pressure for you to always be happy, but simultaneously feeds the fear of pessimism so that you have to keep buying antidotes from the market. Part 4. The humorous escape, the beauty of pathetic honesty. So, how do we escape this vicious cycle of fake smiles and forced positivity? Declare the right to be not okay. First, commit a small act of rebellion. Declare your right to be not okay. Not in a tragic way, but in a satirical and brutally honest way. When someone asks, "How are you?" try replying, "I'm currently halfway between having another cup of coffee and liquidating all my assets to raise goats on a mountain." When you fail, don't try to find an inspirational quote. Just say, "I just failed in a completely meaningless way and learned absolutely nothing. Thank you." The irony is, when you bravely embrace the pathetic and meaningless nature of some pain, you strip it of its power to be manipulated by those who want to romanticize it. Connect through truly off-key notes. Genuine connection doesn't come from sharing glorious successes, but from sharing our clumsiness, our stupid mistakes, the moments nobody wants to see. You'll feel more comfortable confiding in someone who dares to admit, "I just cried because I lost my car keys," than with someone who always says, "Everything happens for a reason. Look for the light." Find friends who aren't afraid to complain with you about the absurdity of life. People who dare to laugh out loud at a shared failure instead of trying to find some higher meaning in it. That is the most potent antidote to toxic positivity. Part 4. Kant. Pulling back the curtain. A guide to using kindness correctly. So what are we supposed to do? Stop smiling and become grumpy? No, the problem isn't the smile, but the authenticity behind it. We don't need to abolish smiling. We need to abolish the industrialization of the smile. This is a humorous and practical guide to help you stop running smile.x mindlessly and start connecting for real. A guide for the mask wearer, the self-deceiver. If you're the one wearing the mask, remember that you are not a superhero. You are just a human being trying to please an invisible judgment council that you've constructed in your own head. Allow for system maintenance break. You are not a machine. Allow yourself to have not okay days. Give yourself permission to be sad, angry, and tired without feeling guilty. This isn't weakness, it's smart risk management. Remember, negative emotions are like the warning lights on a motorcycle that you always try to ignore. They're not there to annoy you, they're signaling that a part needs checking. If you keep pouring fake positivity, gasoline into a broken engine, It's going to explode when you least expect it. Find a safe zone to take off the mask, the confessional booth. Find at least one place where you can be your raw, unjudged self. It could be a trusted best friend, a journal, the kind you don't post online for likes, or a therapist, someone who is professionally paid to listen to you complain. Having a place to dump emotional trash is essential. If you keep holding onto the trash, it will turn your soul into a public landfill. Very clean on the outside, but rotting on the inside. Start small. Level 1 honesty. You don't have to spill every single one of your deepest secrets. Try starting with one honest statement. I'm a little tired today. I think I need to be legally lazy for a bit. Instead of the automatic, I'm fine, which everyone knows is a lie. You'll be surprised how much connective power one honest statement can have. That little bit of authenticity is the off-key note others need to hear to know that they, too, are allowed to be imperfect. A guide for those who want to help, the Emotional Bomb Squad. If you want to help someone who is always smiling, remember that you don't need to be a therapist. You just need to be an honest witness. Someone who dares to look at the truth. Look deeper than the smile. Detect the glitch. Pay attention to their eyes. The eyes usually don't know how to lie. Notice the pauses, the stifled sighs, the forced smiles that don't reach the corners of their eyes. Those are the glitches on the perfect screen they're trying to project. Don't ask them what's wrong. Recognize that they are too tired to keep up the act. Change the question. An exit without a door. Instead of asking, what's wrong? A question that often leads to defensiveness, as they must immediately protect the mask. Try saying, you seem a little different lately. I'm not asking what's up, but I'm here if you just want a quiet place to sit. This statement doesn't demand an immediate answer, it just opens a door. You're giving them the right to not say anything while still being accepted. That is a priceless gift in this noisy world. The power of silence. Therapy through presence. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is not to offer advice or try to cheer them up with a joke. It's to sit next to them, in silence. Your presence, a non-judgmental presence, is sometimes all they need to feel safe enough to take off the mask. Silence is the highest language of empathy. It allows them to hear their own true voice, instead of the noise of toxic positivity. Part 5. Take off the mask. Put on humanity. We've journeyed from identifying the 24/7 happiness mask to analyzing system errors and the romanticization of pain. Now it's time to conclude. Not with a cliché philosophical quote, but with a slightly absurd yet desperately needed call to action. Conclusion. A real smile is a beautiful gift. It's a rare high note in the symphony of life. But a smile used as a tool to hide pain is a burden. Our goal isn't to stop smiling, but to fight for the right to be emotionally authentic. The greatest irony of the 21st century is this. We have the right to vote, the right to free speech, the right to life, but we do not have the right to be openly sad without being judged. We must reclaim that fundamental right. Let's build a world where the question, "Are you okay?" isn't a hollow, pre-programmed greeting like an app notification, but a sincere invitation to connect. And where the answer, "I'm not okay," is met with a hug, with consent, of course. Not with awkward silence or a piece of golden advice like, "Oh well, tomorrow is another day," because in the end, the truth isn't in the smile, but in what gives birth to that smile. The truth is, a mask is heavier than 1,000 tears. Pretending to be happy is more exhausting than actually facing sadness. Authenticity is the weapon that destroys loneliness. Only when you dare to take off your mask will others dare to take off theirs. My final call to action is this. Become the reverse emotion police. When you see someone who is too perfect, too positive, too radiant, treat them with a healthy dose of suspicion. Don't attack them, but silently open an escape route. A small door for them to step out of their role. Have you ever had to wear a happiness mask? Or do you recognize someone around you who is wearing one? If so, remember this. Your story, no matter how pathetic or meaningless it may seem, is still a necessary, off-key note in the authentic symphony of humanity. Our greatest truth is this. To truly connect with one another, we must learn to accept each other's ugliness and messiness. True happiness is not a solo performance, it's the chaotic, off-key harmony of people who accept each other's imperfections. Thank you for your patience until the very last moments of this video. I know the world out there is full of videos 100 times more captivating. Yet, you're still here. I guess you either love this unbelievably useful content, or you just accidentally clicked on it and don't know how to get out. Whatever the reason, I still deeply appreciate it. Once again, thank you all so much. See you in the next video, where we will continue writing the story of life together. Let's all heal the emotional wounds from watching this video.